you give us some more topics of relevance so that we can organize the future webinars in time. Then I'm happy to announce today that our next webinar, that is 13th webinar, is on Saturday, 23rd October 2021, which will be on issues and challenges in organ donation and transplantation, which will be also by one of the very eminent speakers, who is Professor Anil Kumar Gupta, Dean Research from Medical Superintendent and HOD Hospital Administration at PGI Chandigarh. So I'll request you all to keep note the date also, and without taking your much of time, I will request Jagtar sir to please formally introduce Dr. S. Venkat and start the further proceedings. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Venkat.
Thank you, Dr. Yashpal. And good evening once again to everyone, and special good evening to Professor Venkat. And welcome to the AHA fraternity. Dr. Venkat is no stranger to Academy of Hospital Administration. He is actually on our expert and advisory panel also. So we are doubly, sort of lucky and fortunate to have him today to speak to us. Dr. Venkat is a renowned professor in operations management at the Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. He has been working at the IIM Lucknow since May 2030. And in fact, if I have to give his, entire brief, this short kind of introduction actually does no justice to his multifaceted personality and his teaching experience. So I'll, just be touching some of the very important highlights or the salient features from his, resume. He has around 27 years of teaching and research experience. He was a postdoctoral research fellow at Singapore MIT Alliance, that is the SMA program, Nanyang Business Schools, Singapore. He's worked at Honeywell, Singapore as the SCM lead engineer. He has been a Fulbright scholar at W.P. Carey School of Business, Arizona, USA. He has worked at IIT Madras, IIM Indore, and IIM Kozhikode before joining IIM Lucknow in 2013. He has been the coordinator of Center for Excellence in Manufacturing at IIM Indore during his tenure there. He has been richly awarded for his work and for his teaching. He has various, fellowships, awards, and honors. He is an avid researcher, and he has got many publications in the national and in the international magazines and journals. So there couldn't have been a better person today than Professor Venkat to talk to us about this very interesting, very relevant, and I would say a very topical subject, that is reshaping healthcare in business, through innovations. So over to you, Professor Venkat. We are all eager to, listen and be enlightened by your experience and by your knowledge. Over to you, Professor Venkat.
Very good afternoon to all of you, or good evening to everyone. And it is really very pleasant and surprise kind of thing for me. It's a great experience to get introduced by such a legendary people from the field. And as you all know that I am not a medical doctor. First disclaimer. And whatever I will be talking or speaking to you is my, ignorance in one way or the other, or whatever little bit I know. If I say anything good about innovations, etc., all the credit must goes to Dr. V.K. Singh, who is already here. He is our mentor, and he is, almost, I don't want to embarrass him by saying a lot of words, but he is everything for us. And whatever that we are doing here in the name of healthcare in IIM, at least by me, he is the guiding force. And of course, along with him, he has also given very excellent gentlemen like Dr. Jagtar Singh sir. And it's all, I try to build some of my observations. And those of you who attended the health conferences in the past, for them, some of them, it may be a repetition, what I'm going to share. Since you're all, many of you are from medical fraternity, I will talk less of medical and talk more of non-medical kind of thing. So that's the main focus of my discussion for next 35 minutes or around 40 minutes. I have I've prepared a few slides as usual. I am a simple academician. So without slides, it's like a stethoscope for for a doctor. Slide is also like that for us. So I will not use all the slides, but I will just for the sake of sequencing of the topic, I will use that. And my dear friends who have joined here, so please excuse me if there are some slides clarity may be less, or some of the slides I may not be focusing on too much. But I want to throw some light on what are the managerial aspects or the business model innovation kind of thing. So with my readings of some literature and some of the books, so I'll try to put things in perspective and then share it with you. To start with, the references that I've used in my presentation includes Health magazine of our Dr. V.K. Singh, and the Reverse Innovation by our Professor Vijay Govindarajan, and a few other books like Predictably Irrational book by Dan Ariely, and some of the articles by various magazines including McKinsey, some interviews, etc. So these are the sources of my information, and I try to bring some relevance to these things. So let me share my screen. Yes, please. Yeah. So is my slide visible for all of you?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes. So I think I have to go to my other file. Yes. I'll go to slideshow. Yes, please. Yes. Now is it better? Sir?
It's remained the same. If you can put it on the slideshow.
Slideshow only. I'm on slideshow. Now?
Okay. No problem. You continue because we can see your slides. There's nothing.
Okay. Right. So as the name suggests that we are not doing anything great. We are trying to use whatever is available, as the definition of innovation is also very vague. And we try to put something different in place and perspective. Innovations here is not meant for a very sophisticated or hi-fi, but how you handle the things, improvisation precisely. And I will explain a few things with respect to the some of the relevant numbers, etc. So the flow of presentation would be something like this, and our chief, the chief of AHA has already mentioned that COVID has led to a lot of changes, and which made a lot of technologies come into picture and so on and so forth. So it makes our life easy, and we all know that how many things have happened. So I'll spend more time on point number 4 rather than the first 3 points, which are very generic for many of you. So as you already heard from Dr. Jagtar sir and all my journey, let me also share with you what motivated me to focus on healthcare, being a faculty member at IIM. So I started with very small paper reading of a newspaper every day. In July 2007, while I was working at IIM Indore, one day morning I got a paper, Hindustan Times, Excellence in some Viewpoint. So that is the point where this was mentioned as taking manufacturing to the heart. The world's cheapest pacemaker is made in India, and that too it was in Indore. It is in Indore, and the next to IIM campus. We have developed a case study, and that case study got published in the book written by or edited by Dr. V.K. Singh and Paul Lilrank. from CRC Press, which has got wonderful awards also. So that is my beginning of healthcare related issues, and subsequently I've done some work along with other people, stalwarts from AIMS, and my Fulbright to Arizona is also very big stepping stone for me, and my training at Harvard for about a couple of weeks, and thanks to again Dr. VK, who made me to get certified in Lean, and again emergency medicine people. This slide captures my activities around or rather my journey around healthcare management, just for the sake of completion of my introduction.
Professor Venkat, may I just interrupt you? Your slides are not moving.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
Now you are on the slide, my journey in brief.
Yes. So is it better now?
Yeah.
Are you able to see? Yes, sir.
We are able to see. We are able to see.
Yes. Is it moving now? Second slide. Next slide. Slide number 4, please. Here, Dr. APJ, you can see.
No, the slide still is on my journey in brief.
I don't know what is wrong. What is wrong? Now, sir, is it slide number 4?
Now it is introduction and motivation.
Yes, yes. So just for some of you to understand what we are doing, my personal experience and my teaching experience and IAM platform. As you all aware that, how important is a platform. I cherish that. I sincerely thank my institutions, including IAM Indore, IAM Lucknow, and other institutions as well, which has given me a wonderful platform. This is very, very crucial for any experimentation, either it is teaching or practice or product or anything for that matter, my dear friends. This is one point I want to stress very, very clearly from my own experience. And the support systems with whom I am working, like Arvind Hospital, and maybe be it public health systems, and maybe some of the governments, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the motivations for me to focus a little bit from the IAM platform in terms of healthcare management. I'm also glad to share with all of you that healthcare management has been offered as an elective course for IAM graduates at MBA program level. It's the only institute in the country, apart from a few other institutions, where the program is offered as a separate program. But for regular MBA students, this healthcare management course has been offered as an elective at IAM Lucknow, where Dr. Jagtar Saab as well as Dr. VK Singh and many other legendaries also come and help me in terms of connecting to the industry and academia in a much better way. And this course has been enjoyed thoroughly by my students as well. So this is one of the motivations for me, my dear friends. Right. So coming to healthcare, as you all know that a lot of accidents that are happening, and this gives you some idea about why you need completely a different setup, or rather a different approach for addressing these kind of problems for a country like India, and particularly the road accidents. One of the studies that we have done includes with KGMU Lucknow on emergency care delivery. So based on that, we could see a lot of innovations that are happening. So based on these experiences, I'm going to share what are the innovations that can help a country like India to address this huge burden on the country, both private and public is facing a lot more burden on for all the diseases. And as you all know, communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases, and road traffic injuries, etc. There is a new type of I would say emergent health issues are coming up. Primarily, I call them, since the interest of time, due to the paucity of time, I don't want to trouble you by asking for poll and all. So one of the most prevailing diseases, or I won't call it as a diseases, but the problem, health issues is due to use of technology. Technology can be a very good weapon for fighting against the odds, as well as this itself can be a hazardous kind of thing. So a lot of technology induced diseases also started emerging, as you could see. People while driving, the way they are using, I call them as the technology induced diseases. Health issues due to technology adaptation in a wrong way or one way or the other. So as you all know that India system has a lot of formats of healthcare. Why I want to share this, because the one innovation which works at one level may be possible with a modification in the other sectors. As you could see, the kind of complications in the healthcare delivery models, particularly in the Indian context, is there are military hospitals, railway hospitals, as you can see. Dr. Jagtar Saab, as well as others, there are people who come from military background, medical service, and Army Medical Corps, where these things are much different from that of the public sector or private hospitals and all. And altogether, railway hospitals also is very important. So this is where we are enjoying, while developing these business cases or the models, the public health, private health, healthcare managed the way it has been managed by railways and military, etc. And now you could see new emerging players like NGOs, IT-based startups, and Indian traditional medicines, even including individuals. And all the more, you will have a Google doctor or a social media doctor. So there are so many such complications that are complicated systems of healthcare delivery models available, particularly for India as well as the rest of the world. What I want to convey from this slide is that there is a lot of cross learnings or cross sectoral learnings are one. Some of the things which we can adapt from one sector to another sector is very important. So that is the point I want to drive here. So this gives you some idea about the resource constraint on economic, or rather on some of the countries. Particularly for India, the per capita spending on healthcare by government is very low. Public spending as well as private spending is also very low because of the economic situation. This is the latest figure. So, and on the other side, the public and private spending, some numbers will throw you some idea about why we need and what kind of innovations that we can focus on. So there is a lot of disparity or a lot of variation in terms of public and private spending in the country across various states. And not only at global level, within the country also we have a serious shortage. And this gives you some idea about the shortage on the supply side. Some of the states like Tamil Nadu and southern states, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, to some extent Andhra Pradesh also has a good number of doctors. Whereas in northern India, if you see Jharkhand, Haryana, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh and other states like Himachal, the number of people, a number of doctors per, as per the WHO standard is also very different. Why I want to convey this? These are some of the challenges where we can use innovations to the extent possible, and predominantly not only restricted to digital innovations, but there are many other innovations that we need to look at. Right. So I don't need to tell you about waterborne diseases. This gives you some idea about waterborne diseases. India has a very huge disease burden on different areas, different states, different regions of the state, and so on and so forth. That is the point I want to give you. And in nutshell, per capita spending and physician density, and in fact mortality rate, almost 7 times that of benchmark of United States. And of course, if you compare with other countries, it will be much different. And only state in India which is having a better indicators is the state of Kerala. So its Kerala indicators are much better than even US. So this gives you some idea, and there is a lot of opportunity for innovations at different levels. That is the point I want to drive. So the other drivers of change, apart from COVID and technological developments, what you could see is the open courseware, social networks, online variants, and so on and so forth is changing the way the healthcare is being delivered. And those changes can lead to a lot of convergence in terms of better care delivery. So, and the other side, if you look at So my another objective of this session would include bringing some innovations from other fields. That's very important. And anywhere, if you see these innovations, one of the most important dimensions of innovations is what is that we can adopt from other sectors, particularly either business or health or even governance, political, government system, and so on and so forth. This cross fertilization of these innovations or the best practices can be adopted. As you could see that there are a lot of changes that have happened over a period of time. Now we are into Industry 4.0. Before we talk about Industry 4.0, and 5.0 also has emerged, and which is precisely looking at cyber physical systems is the fourth level of innovations, which is driving healthcare also. There is no exception for this revolution 4.0. So I would call it as it's a revolution of technology or technology-led revolutions. Apart from that, you also need to go with the business model innovations, etc. So across different industries, there are a lot of opportunities for improvement, and you could see such kind of opportunities for healthcare as well. So this gives you some idea about how different technologies are shaping up various fields like the home management, healthcare management, or the sensor technologies, monitoring tools, and instruments, control systems, robots. And it's in rather medical is the one which has started using the technology in a big way much before other industries. So that's the point I want to try. So there are other disruptive technologies which you may be knowing. So I'll just skip through these small, few more slides. So some of the potential technologies that are disrupting the almost everything in the world, be it mobile internet, automation of knowledge workers. Today you could see AI and machine learning and so on and so forth, the cloud technologies, and there are business potentials are also been available. So these things I have taken it from McKinsey article. So that is the source of information. And energy storage, the way it is happening today, now you can see even the advanced cars like Tesla is coming to India. And these are some of the things that you could see, unmanned cars and almost everything. As our Dr. Yashpal Sharma ji mentioned that the 3D printing during this COVID time, HP company has printed several thousands of components that went into the ventilators in the local areas, which reduced the supply chain turnaround time, and were able to manage the supplies on time in spite of a lot of chaos in the supply chain or disruptions in the supply chain. The point I want to drive here is that there are a lot of technologies that are coming to the rescue of almost every field, including renewable energy sources. And today people are developing technologies which can work with a very, very low energy consumption or energy devices and so on and so forth. So the other trends that is shaping up the health is precisely the market trends that are happening in the emerging markets. More than 50% of the healthcare market is happening in emerging economies context or Asia, particularly according to the latest document, report by McKinsey shows that more than 50% is coming from these 4 or 5 countries from Asia Pacific alone or Asia alone. So there are also health and wellness centers is main focus of one of the main focuses of Ayushman Bharat. So this gives you some idea about how various trends that are happening, and it is leading to a kind of different type of ecosystem in the healthcare field is inevitable. That is, with India is also moving very fast towards that, right? So innovations in some of the areas would include digitization in healthcare and a rapid evolution of science and medicine. That is one area, and the sustainable cost can be reduced to a large extent. So innovations in different fields can be applied the way. So I will throw some examples around that. I'll skip through some of these issues also. So what I want to convey here is, so though there are technologies, etc., available, so managing the people and processes are by and large cannot be automated. Even processes can be automated to some extent, but managing people to people communication, people to people management or people management is becoming very, very difficult. So some of the areas that needs the main focus for the organizations include strategy, planning, and control level. Most important thing in healthcare organization is the leadership and execution. I will demonstrate the issues leadership and execution through some well-known examples from India. Right. So this is another perspective where you can connect every part of your health or health issue to the technology and to your doctor and so on and so forth. And at Innovation, Innovation Curies, Mr. Sachin tells a lot of stories about or actual practices about cyber security issues in the medical field. He is one of the experts in AI. So before you know what is happening to your body, your doctor come to know what is happening to your blood pressure or heartbeat and so on and so forth. So that is the level of innovations that are happening in the health system. So managing these things is not a joke, or it all requires much more I would say professional management systems. So I would call management systems is the one which connects all other systems. So some of the impacts of COVID, since you all know very well about what has happened during this time, one thing that people talk about is resilience and responsiveness. So I come from operations background. So what we need is the response. All the innovations that lead to resilience and responsiveness can make healthcare delivery much more vibrant and much more sustainable. So that is the point. And in this direction, a lot of traditional metrics for measuring the supply chain or the operational performance measures are getting changed. Now we are talking about biosafety and security, microbial measures, and including infections and so on and so forth. So these are the issues that are going to, these issues may look very small, but the impact of these issues is very, very crucial. The way things are happening. For example, the meat that is delivered by a part of the segment of the supply chain with which got affected, let us say, a COVID-prone area, can be a disaster, or the medical supplies that comes from particular region can be a disaster. So during this COVID time, what you have seen is the very critical issue is how do you manage the supply chain in spite of a lot of challenges in that. So thanks to the local level systems and the robust distributed systems made this happen in the context of COVID. So you could see the way the ventilators that have been delivered by government system itself is the evidence for that. Of course, I work with this government system closely. There was a lot of challenges that were faced by due to this COVID, and a lot of I would say homegrown innovations have been used for overcoming that. One such thing is how do you overcome from the production in the affected zones. So they quickly are able to change their location from A to B, and maybe they were able to reduce the turnaround time and setup time and so on and so forth using flexible resources and dedicated manpower and so on and so forth. The technologies have come up in a big way, and apart from that, there is a lot of short, cut down of long waiting times for procedural issues and administrative procedures and so on and so forth. This is more of a managerial issues than the technical or scientific issues. So that is the point I want to drive. So, and apart from this, you also have the latest technologies like robotics, 3D printing, blockchain, and gamification in healthcare delivery. That is changing the way the care is being delivered. Gamification. I don't want to get into the further details of this. And the cobots and chatbots have been used very predominantly by almost all parts of the business or all parts of the society transactions. And the latest one is the biosafety and security is becoming very important issue, right? So this is the latest framework that has been developed by Emergency Medicine Collaborative, and this is coming up in one of the new articles that is going to appear in emergency medicine. So this gives you some idea about what is the telemedicine, how this ecosystem is getting developed. So these things are becoming very crucial, and as you could see, the technological advances like drones during this, particularly during this COVID time, vaccines have been delivered, and Apollo is coming up in a very big way for addressing these supply issues by using drones. Andhra Pradesh government as well as Telangana government is already engaging private players as well as government for delivering many essential medicines, including vaccines, using drones. So these are some of the things that you could see, and the future is going to be the mix of the, I would call as a 3H model. That 3H model is a hospital, home, and the field. That is how this is going to be the future care model, and this is going to continue across all the multiple levels. So I'll just take a couple of minutes to make you get into the next level, is the business models. What do you mean by business model? Can I just have a quick small interaction before I get into the business model? So I've just shown what is happening in the area of health and technologies, this, that, etc. That is one part. Part one of my session is just walking through around the walkthrough of the healthcare landscape, or whatever you can call it as. Yes. So now I want to hear from some of you. What do you mean by business model? You can type it in the chat box, please. You can type it in the chat box, my dear friends, including my mentors, Dr. VK and Dr. Sektar Saab, everybody. What do you mean by business model?
Can I attempt?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What I feel a business model is, you can call it a document, or you can call it a strategy, which actually outlines how a business is going to deliver value to its customers or its consumers.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
Okay.
How does it would bring value?
Yes. Strategy is different from business model, and we'll come to that point later. But what you said is, how do you operate? How a business operate? Yes. Dr. Rohan, I think Rohan, we met in the Leeds, right? It's the same Rohan, right? Oh, very good. I'm happy to see you, Rohan, here. Yes. Yeah. Value proposition, return on investment. Very good. Yeah. Others, please. Supply chain, services, demand. Okay. Certainly, supply chain is part of business model. Yes. In nutshell, layman, how do you explain to a layman what is a business model? What is a business model? A lot of people in this team, also in this meeting now. So what is missing in many cases is that lack of putting a proper business model or appropriate business model around all the things that we know. The business model is the one, it's like a nerve system for any organization. It's a nerve system. It is a central system which makes every element of the system function together in coordination, in alignment with every other element. It's like a neurology system. A business model is nothing but which connects and which facilitates the flow of value, flow of everything, information, etc., whatever that you do. It facilitates the flow, seamless flow from top to bottom, and it connects every element. So I'll show a few examples and then we'll stop with that. Right. So business model canvas template. Yes, I think some of you might have gone through business model canvas, that I have some of the elements of this business model canvas. Right. Thank you for your support. Right. Sir, is the slide visible, sir? Is slide number 30? Yes.
Yeah, we can see it. Evolution of business models.
Yes. So around the world, a lot of business, almost every organization has changed over a period of time, which has changed from CapEx model to OpEx to leasing out and outsourcing. And also AT&T was the parent organization of pay-as-you-go model, where the telecom users can pay as they use, like talk time. You pay for that amount of time that you use. It's like an auto model. It's like a cab model. You go for 5 kilometers distance, you pay for 5 kilometers. You use for 5 hours, you pay for 5 hours. So pay as you go model. You pay as you use. It is as simple as, when you go to even public toilet or even the private ones on paid basis, if you want use for primary purpose or maybe the natural call or whatever it is. So you pay as you are going to use. Pay as you use. And of course, one of our great models of this country and the world is the Arvind model. Do you know on what basis this Arvind model works? Is there anyone who can help me, please? Including my, well-wisher, Dr. Saab. How? Pays your as you use model. After that, what was the next level of model? Anyone, please? There is a great organization in India which is known for it, and it is based on this model. No other organization in the world exists on this model and surviving for such a long time. That is Arvind Eye Hospital. Even today, no questions asked. When you go to Arvind Eye Hospital, no questions asked. You choose between two channels, paid channel and free channel, paid and free service. No questions asked, no document verification. You choose what you want. Particularly for cataract surgery, 70+% of surgeries are happening for free now. And this hospital has been scaled up a number of locations of late. The latest one is at Tirupati under Tirupati Balaji Temple collaboration. Not only innovation, they have found a lot of new innovations the way they are operating. So I came to know only yesterday, one of my relatives got cataract surgery done in Arvind Eye Hospital, Tirupati Hospital. He is being paid 15,000 rupees on hand, apart from free surgery. Jagtar Saab, this is the latest one which I came to know. Not only surgery is free, and including 15,000 rupees as the support, financial support for this, for agriculture labor, he is getting 15,000 rupees for next few months of taking care of himself. So that is the level of service that they are delivering. I don't know how they are able to deliver this kind of service for either sustainability. So this is what we call it as pay as you wish model. Pay as you wish. Now everything is free. Whatever that we are doing, most of the social media, etc., etc. Of course, there is a paid and free. So what I want to convey here is the paid model, paid services and unpaid services are coexisting in organizations. Coexistence. Free and paid is not two separate. It is coexistent. So that is what is happening. We don't know what is the next. And there was an article called The Business Model That Cares. Business Line. It was published somewhere in 2007-8 time frame, where a restaurant chain in US, Panera Cake, was inspired by our Arvind Eye Hospital model, and he has opened up a pay as you wish model in the canteen, in the restaurant business. Some of the outlets, they called it as a Panera Care. Panera Bread has modeled some of their outlets as the Panera Care, where some people who cannot afford to pay for their food, they can go and eat and go. And I also came to know from the literature that this chain has been closed because he was not able to sustain. Because a lot of people came and significant proportion of people came and eat and go. They're not paying. Unpaid category has significantly increased. So as a result, this company was not able to offer that service anymore. So it should not become like that. And of course, there are some canteens in Kerala, of course, run by political parties. People can go and eat and go. And of course, if I put it in my perspective, since I work closely with the Tirupati Balaji Temple, once anybody who reaches to Tirupati, from there to Tirumala and back, almost everything is free. Your stay is free, your food is free, your darshan is free, your prasad is also free. There are so many things which are offered free. Of course, that is possible only in temple like Tirupati Balaji Temple and a few other temples. So that's where Dr. Venkata Swamy also mentioned that the hospital should be following the emulation of the temples. Every healthcare organization should function as a temple. If you go to a temple, there are a lot of things which are free. So that is the idea with which Dr. V might have told about this. So this is the basis for my second half discussion, right? So there are a lot of business models, organizations who have developed their strength in certain areas. Growth with respect for people is the Toyota model, and governance and the transparency is the very important thing in any business. And as you could see, some of the experiences of automobile companies and food manufacturing companies, automobile recalls, mobile phone recall, pharma recall, food recall. If you miss transparency, then what happens is you will pay very heavy penalty. So in this direction, what has also changed in some of the corporate business, also from supply chain to value network, which is coming up in a big way, a connected economy. So this is the point I want to drive, which is the basis for your all the innovations that are happening, right? So coming to healthcare, what is driving healthcare is most important, and innovation, these areas are very important. So that is the point I want to drive in this slide, is that what are the innovations which can help improving the quality? What are the innovations that can help in reducing the cost and make it more affordable, like Aravind Eye Hospital and so on and so forth? We have a lot of such good examples. And patient-centric. When you talk about patient can choose what is the schedule that is possible, what are the preferences that he or she wants to have it. So accessible anytime, anywhere, technology platforms. These are the areas where innovations are making a lot of difference. And in the book by Reverse Innovation, book by Dr. Govindarajan and his co-author on reverse innovation, these exemplary examples of Indian hospitals have been documented very nicely. This source of my information is from that book, and the interested readers can refer to that book. So the whole idea here is that the innovations in these areas are the prime movers for Indian healthcare organizations, where even US is learning from us, and the author is calling this as the reverse innovation. I have a small observation. We don't need to call it as a reverse innovation because it is coming from a country like India. Innovation is an innovation wherever it is emerging from. So my take on this, I don't want to debate on innovation or reverse innovation or forward innovation, etc. Innovation is an innovation which makes things simplified and add value at the end of the day. So that's my idea of innovation. So some of the exemplary hospitals which you could see, what is there that they are doing different. For example, the Aravind Eye Hospital, which was established in late 70s. These are some of the examples that we can learn how their innovations are helping in developing a very high quality, low cost healthcare delivery on sustainable basis. So the one thing that we could see is the low cost and high efficiency. They were able to improve the processes very thoroughly, and workforce training and backward integration with IOL lenses in-house manufacturing and so on and so forth. So the way they are doing, I have seen with my eyes and visited that hospital number of times. They are managing today with less than 2 days of inventory in the hospital in Madurai. 2 days inventory. Is there any other hospital which is able to manage with 2 days inventory? And inventory is one of the major areas of cost. And if you are able to reduce that inventory by working closely with your suppliers, or on one side and on the demand side and other side, I think there is a huge scope for this. And world's best known hospital is Madurai Aravind Eye Hospital, and their branches are also doing reasonably well. And another thing that you could see in the same southern part of India, that LV Prasad Eye Hospital, Eye Institute, we have a wonderful pyramid design, and which is guarding a lot of are able to deliver this door-to-door service to the patients. And the camps is the cornerstone of rural camps is the cornerstone of Aravind. And similarly, the one form of the Aravind model is being emulated by LV Prasad Eye Hospital, but there are differences. They are built based on their culture or what they can do better. So similarly, care hospitals, on the for-profit hospitals established in 97, they have also developed a lot of in-house technologies, and including low-cost stents and other medical devices, and scheduling of these resources at a distributing this demand during the peak and non-peak times carefully. And Narayana Health is another example where cardiac care has been delivered such a low cost by improving their efficiencies of various processes and training of doctors and allied workforce also at all levels. And another organization which you can learn is again for-profit hospital, which was established in 2005, provided value-based cancer care. Cancer care is one of the costliest one, where they were able to reduce that by using the technology and, of course, developing a market-based mechanisms, and Asia's largest cancer treatment network. How they were able to reduce this collaboration. So what we can learn from this is that they have developed their own strengths in each of their field, and they cut down the cost and using either manpower or efficiency of the processes or technology. I would call it as the PPP, process, people, technology, and of course building with the culture. So that is what is the most important thing that we can learn, right? So the breakthrough business model in all these things, if you could see that what is the purpose, how do you increase the quality at the lowest cost? So that is one part. And configuration, hub and spoke model, how do you manage your supply chain at different levels and including this collaboration and so on and so forth. How technologies have been employed or deployed at various levels, including MRI, CT scan, and so on and so forth. The long time taking technologies versus reducing those technologies cost. And if you see the hospital cost, the maximum cost is HR and followed by the technology and of course other infrastructure. So that is one thing. And the process task shifting, where you could see nurse doing multiple jobs, doctor is doing doctor's job, nurse is doing nurse job, paramedic is doing paramedic job. So there is a clear-cut evidence of job profiles and job roles and etc. And of course, the culture cannot be copied. What can be copied is the science. What cannot be copied is the culture. Please note this point. The culture, what you build right from day one, matters a lot. So that is where you see Arvind has a culture. Narayana Health has a culture. LV Prasad Eye Hospital has a culture. AIIMS has a culture. So I can tell you honestly, how government system also is delivering care is very unique. For example, in trauma care center in AIIMS trauma care center, customer care, where customers reaches to the service provider. Whereas here, the service provider calling the customer family side and informing them that your patient is here and they are doing well. I hope some of you know this. So to avoid the panic or to inform the families of the patients who have gone through the emergency issues, the hospital is calling the patient family and informing them. I think that is a wonderful innovation, I would say, particularly in a government setup. Calling them is a dream. And even if you call private hospitals even today, that getting a response is very difficult. AIIMS is doing a great job. So I hope some of you may be aware of this. So that is one. And in business models, I'll just give a gist of a few things and then I'll jump into the example here. So as you could see, value proposition and processes and resources, and at the end of the day, you also need the profit to be made at the end of the day. A business model is not the same as the strategy, and even though people think they are similar. A business model is concerned with the firm, whereas the strategy takes into account the overall environment the firm is operating. So please note this point. I want all of you to observe what is the difference between business model and strategy. The strategy is different from business model. So please note this point. So that's the point. So these are the components of or elements of business model, and you could find innovations impacting some of these mainly in the resources and value proposition and cost structure. These are the three areas where the innovations can make a lot of difference. So why I'm showing this, people should understand what is this business model, and when you talk about innovations, why innovations in business model is very important. That is the point I want. Foundation for business model innovation is the point I want to drive here, right? So you have a lot of different types of innovations: process innovation, product innovation, service design, and service delivery. So you can only get much higher benefit innovation potential over and above all these innovations is the business model innovation. I'll show what is that business model innovation. So as I shared, that the fundamental issue in this, you have a good product, very good process, very good people. but your business model is not that very good, not that good, then this will go for sixer. So that is the point I want to drive in this slide. So I'll just go to, the innovation. When you talk about innovation, I just want to, share a few anecdotes which I am very fond of. These are from newspaper items. I go to newspapers almost every day. I read newspapers like anything. Newspaper is my textbooks. So you can see innovation, how this is being managed. Every picture can tell you something. So you see in India, number of people carried by a two-wheeler, not only two-wheeler is for two people normally. What is happening to safety here? When you talk about safety, how do you measure the safety and risk? So this is one example. You see here, brand. You can have a wonderful coffee with less than 200 rupees. Whereas Starbucks coffee, even in India, you know what is it? American brand in India, American hospital in India, Indian hospital in India. So when a customer is waiting for Starbucks coffee, a long line, there is a business opportunity for an Indian chaiwala. So that is the point I want to drive here. There is opportunity in every area, right? See this is again from a Hindu Business Line article. You could see these kind of things in Delhi particularly very much. And these pigeons are one of the reasons for respiratory issues in Delhi. Are you aware of this? So government is public health providers is one of the big concern is the growing population of pigeons. What can you do with this? See this guy. Next slide. Bindas. There is opportunity. You may not be interested in this, but there are someone somebody else can do this. Your job is to identify, or there are people who can identify this opportunity and make their lives and livelihood, as you already seen. So the innovation is unlimited. That's the point I want to drive. See this. Why I want to connect this drip? You heard about drip only in hospitals, but the drip irrigation, the water scarcity areas. So these are some forms of innovation. You can see this. Vehicles is in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, flooded roads. Right. So let me come to the innovation types. There are different types of innovation. We cannot talk about all of them. And there is a product innovation, process innovation, service design and service delivery innovation, and business model innovation. So I want to just quote a few examples under product innovation. GE medical devices is one of the examples. Mobile phone, single SIM to dual SIM. Dual SIM is a breakthrough. The rural transport vehicles, a lot of changes. Tata Magic is a real magic. Sachets, Sony camera, where they have reduced the space drastically by changing the lithium battery sizes and so on and so forth. I hope you know ice cream. Ice cream was coming in cups due to a problem of disposal, vegetable cone, which you can eat along with the ice cream. So that is a wonderful innovation in ice cream, which came into existence in US itself. Lock, you have a locks like conventional locks like this, locks with key. Number locks. So this I learned from my children's friends when they were staying in a hostel. There's one lock, 3 children, only 2 keys. What will you do? They went for number lock. They know the number, and any number of people can operate the single lock. The students are the most resourceful people for innovations. Since I am interacting with my students, I could say that I can give you a better idea, or rather better idea collection from many of my students, including particularly from children. Childhood people are the children at the school level can make your life very easy as well as very difficult. So these are the things which you could see under product innovation. Process innovation, what you could see at Arvindai Hospital, Tirumala Temple, the way they are managing the waiting time, long waiting time, use of ICT, and including admission process at IIM. I have reduced the number of wait lists to fewer number, and e-procurement options in some of the gem procurement sites and so on and so forth. And on the service delivery side, ATMs, online, card-free, contactless, and touch-free. These are all the things that is happening today. And the delivery of medicines in South Africa and Telangana and Andhra Pradesh by drones and etc., and including Mumbai Dabbawala. These are all the examples of process and product and service delivery innovations. So I'll just, these are some of the examples of product innovation that are happening at GE. We all know because it is a medical fraternity. So I thought, let me show some medical examples, right? So there are other innovations like open source, cloud, etc. And some of the emerging technologies that are coming up is AI and ML, 3D printing. I have already explained how 3D printing could reduce the long supply chains into very short supply chains and able to deliver this. And blockchain technologies, due to safety and security issues, this blockchain is going to be the disruptor, and it's already happening. You can buy a medicine, you can use that medicine, and whatever that is available can be returned also. So the blockchain technologies are driving the healthcare particularly in a big way. So these are some of the areas which you could see. These are all fine. Now, the next 5 minutes I will spend on the last part of my presentation. So this next 5 minutes will be on the business model innovation example. Now you have seen product innovations, process innovation, service design and delivery innovation. Now, do you need business model? Do you need an innovation business model? What do you mean by business model innovation? Yeah, I told you what are the components of business model, etc. Now, what do you mean by business model innovation or innovative business model? Anyone, please? Some of you, please. Dr. Hina, what do you mean by business model innovation? Yes, Mansvi, yes, please. Mansvi, you can tell me something. What do you mean by business model innovation? We have seen
Mansvi,
business
you
Yes,
can
Sir, it
unmute
means
yourself.
something new which is not existing.
which is not, which is something new. Okay, good.
Yes, that can bridge the need of gap of the need of the
Not
existing
necessarily new.
customer.
Okay, one clarification is not necessarily new. You can use it for new application. It's a phone. You are still talking it as a phone. The phone is being used for many things. It is a computer for me. It is everything for me. It is a camera for me. It is a watch for me. With this, lot of industries have gone. Just one phone, smartphone, has changed multiple industries. It could be anything. It can be existing one also, not necessarily new. 1 point. Yes. Anything else, please? Yes, sir. Jagtar, sir.
Yeah, please, anybody else?
Yes, I think Surekha
Yeah,
is.
Surekha,
Yes, please.
please unmute yourself and talk.
Yes. Good evening. Sir, I wanted to mention that one of the classic examples of business model innovation is Dr. Arvind Lal's pathology laboratory.
Okay.
The way he totally changed the functioning of laboratory services in the country 30 years ago.
Yes.
The classic example of business model innovation. Earlier, laboratory services, patient had to go to the laboratory to give the blood.
I should add that to my list. I will add that. Yes.
I thought it was worth mentioning, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. So, you know the people behind that innovation? That Dr. V.K. Singh is one of the, very close friends of Dr. Lal ji and also Jagtar Saab. And while discussing with these people, in the end, based on this discussion, they have implemented certain things. Earlier, they used to send all the messages of their reports at the end of the day. They said, why are you waiting? You are unnecessarily postponing and then making the demand to spike. So as and when done, you release it. People will be happy. So just releasing the SMS messages or the report itself as and when it is completed is a JIT example. Instead of batch processing and piecewise processing. Single piece. This is from production area. JIT. So one industry practice is being adopted in another industry. It's as simple as that. It's good example.
Yes, sir.
Very happy. Right. So
Sir, hello.
yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Hina.
Instead of giving case paper while patient comes to the OPD, so instead of giving case paper, electronic token system can be applied. So it avoids the external rush in the area, OPD area.
Digital
Then
records. Electronic
yes,
medical
core
records.
system. When patient comes to the case paper counter, so immediately he will get this OPD number. Then the data will share to the other departments,
Yeah, yeah.
also laboratory.
In
Yeah.
fact, a
So
lot of paperwork, lot
yes,
of papers have been
yes.
reduced
Avoid lot of paperwork.
at
Yes,
AIIMS
and
itself.
time saving.
At AIIMS itself, if you look at the paperwork and the kind of records that they are maintaining today, mind-boggling. The largest volume of the country's hospital, I think they are computerization, and that time in charge of computerization, Dr. Deepak Agarwal, is also our well-wisher and good friend, and he also comes to IIM Lucknow for taking wonderful special sessions for my students. I'm so glad. I'm telling you honesty. Right. So let me give you quick example. Now I want all of you to participate. Dr. Saab knows this example. Now, though he knows this example, he can also participate. So now let's look at this. And you can see this advertisement or this notification in a very simple example like Economist magazine. Economist magazine is one of the very reputed magazines, and there are 3 options for people to choose from. Economist subscription, $59, 1 year subscription, only online access of online access of articles from 97 onwards. This is option number 1. Option number 2, just print version, $125, 1 year subscription. Option number 3, print and web subscription. If you buy print, you will also give you web subscription with the same price and access to this. Now tell me, how many of you are interested to choose option 1? You have to participate in the poll. It is like the election, candidate 1, 2, 3, option 1, 2, 3. Now, this is the next 1 minute. I want all of you to give me your rating, your voting. Now, how many number of people would like to go with option 1? Please type yes for option 1. Option 1. Or just write option 1, 2, 3, whichever option you want, just write the number that you want. If you like 1, give 1. If you like 2, give 2. If you like 3, give 3. Just type 1, 2, 3, your option. Only one option. You cannot choose more than one option. Everyone has to choose. We have 40 people. Now I need this survey to be done quickly. Yes, please. Everybody, please participate. 1, 1, 3, 1, 3. Very good. Very good. Very good. Please, please, others, please go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes. I can see number of 3s and 1s. Others, please. Please participate. Participate. Others. Yeah. Give it as option 1 or 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, your time is getting closed. Yes. So now let me count how many 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 6. 17 people only participated. Others are not participated. It is compulsory. It is not a general election. It's only a classroom. It is a session, simple participation. This shows the attitude of all of us, how good we are in exercising our vote. I'm sorry to say, I never missed my vote. I want all of you to vote for this. My dear doctor friends, healthcare friends, please participate. I'm your doctor now. Is there anyone, just one observer, is there anyone who has chosen number 2? Is there anyone who has chosen number 2? Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Good.
Nobody.
So let's move on. So you are not something different from others. So since nobody has selected option 2, I have removed. Now, in the original option, option 2 is removed because it is very costly for me to maintain such a database. My IT costs are high, data center cost is very high, maintaining that is very different. Removing one option which is not got selected by anybody doesn't make sense. Or rather, it makes sense for me as a company, owner of the company or the executive of the company or IT guy says that, since this option is not being used, inactive account, please remove it. So removed. Option that has not been chosen by anybody has been removed. Now there are only 2 options. Print plus online. Can we go for the polling now again? Can we go for polling again now? I've given you only 2 options. The option which nobody has selected has been removed. Now repoll. It is something like, election has been announced, nomination, and one candidate has died due to some reason. So by-election. In by-election, one candidate has been removed, only 2 candidates are there. Yes, please. Go ahead. Yeah. Yes, Rohan is still going with option 1. You don't want to change. You cannot say choose both. Amit, you cannot choose both, only one. Only one. Right. So I think let us move on. So I do this, of course, I have done this for our doctors in one of the physical conferences at Lucknow only. And of course, other places also, including in my classes, I do. And this information is from a book called Predictably Irrational: Hidden Forces That Shape Your Decisions. Hidden Forces That Shape Your Decisions by Dan Ariely. That is the book. You all must read this book. If you want the innovation, that too business model innovation, you should read this book. You should have this book. I'm not publicizing about good book, so please do not mistake me. And you are not interested in buying the book, at least see that book summary and video. That's good enough. Now, so the same thing has been administered at different places for different people, and the performance of this scheme is like this. When you offer 3 options, the 16% of the people have chosen option 1, 84% of the people have chosen option 3. Then these scenarios got some revenue, selling price of this, and revenue is 11,444. So that is what is the revenue from option the first scenario. When you remove the second option, which is not got selected, then the poll has become reverse. Of course, in this case, it was mixed. You are given the other way around. So because you are different customers. You are different customers. In my class, this exactly the same thing happened. And it happened also. So second option, the second scenario, as you could see, that option 2 that has not been selected has been removed. As a result of that, the number of people who opted for option 1 has significantly increased from 16% to 68%, and option 3, which got selected predominantly 84%, has gone down to 32%. As a result of this, the revenue of the business has gone down by 30%. Now, one observation here: product is same, people are same, price options are same. Only thing which is being done is removing option which has not got selected by anyone. That is option number 2 here. People are same. Now also you can see here in our course also, in our course of this polling also, you could see the earlier options and the second options. The performance of these 2 options or their 2 contexts is not same. Why do you think so? Let me ask you, how many of you have changed your mindset? How many of you have changed your choice? How many of you have changed your choice? There are few people who have changed. Why did you change? Why did you change? Those of you who have changed your option, why did you change? Even in the previous scales also, all the three options are there. Are you rational? Now tell me, are you rational or irrational? Are we rational? Are human beings rational?
Human
depends.
beings are generally irrational.
It depends. People say it depends. My MBA student says it depends. Yes, it depends. It depends on the number of options that I have given. Earlier, I have given you 3 options. I only removed the option which was not selected by anybody. It doesn't make any difference. It should not make any difference. But there is a difference. Why? My dear doctor friends, healthcare friends, many of you must be doctors and also healthcare professionals. Now tell me, what made you to change your decision in less than 2 minutes? Just a magazine. Print versus online, online and print. Just a very simple product. You're all professionals. What made you to change your decision? Did any political party influence you? Did any social media influence you now? What are the forces that influenced you in your decision? We don't even know. This is what the author says. He's a behavioral finance person, Dan Ariely. He has written his experience of health, and all healthcare experts should read this book. I already suggested that this almost everywhere. And I have made this presentation in 2017, health conference also. It was really a very successful presentation for me as far as I am concerned. So that's where I thought that this will also make some sense. Now let me move on to the next couple of minutes. I will close it. Sir, sorry for the delay. Now look at this. Another example. Which circle in these 2 configurations is looking? What is your observation? My dear friends, is the central circle in both the figures, is it different or same? Some responses, please.
Certainly different.
Both are equal.
No.
Surekha, is it looking same for you?
No.
Yes, sir. It's looking, it is equal.
It is. No. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see.
When we see the first black circle looks larger than the second one.
Excellent. That is the point. When you are surrounded by small people, you look big. When you are surrounded by big people, you look small. This is the nature. When you are offered 3 TV models, which model you choose? So, in the options that you have exercised, the option that you are not chosen is called, its name is called a decoy. Decoy is the one which makes other options get selected, but not that option. Its name is, it's called as a decoy. Decoy, D-E-C-O-Y. Decoy is the one which makes other options to get selected, other products to get selected. It could be a product, it could be option, it could be anything for that matter, including elections. One candidate makes other candidate to win. It is not the winner is the winner. The winner is made by other person. You agree? One hospital is becoming better because of the other hospital. It's not because of the only that hospital is becoming better. Better hospital is becoming better because of the worst hospital. Please note that point. In India, private healthcare is booming because of public healthcare. Do you agree? I'm sorry to use this.
Possible to some
There
extent.
is a huge demand for private health because the public health is in a very bad shape. If public health improves, your business model has to change. Please note that point. That is the point I want to drive. Products are same, people are same, markets are same, everything is same, businesses are same, but not business model. Product is same. The way you package, is there any Telugu guys in the team, in the list of people? You look at the cinema songs, some folk songs. There is a one Telugu movie song, or the Telugu folk song, Enfield on Dugu Dugu Bandi. After that song, this movie became very popular. The author who has written, the writer who has written that song became very popular. So what I want to convey here is, when one element of the system changes, other elements have to saturate their systems also. Right. So let me move on. So that is the point. And you have this example, like what we have shown, the magazine, which is true for consumer electronics. When you go to a TV showroom, you will find different sizes, different prices. You will be confused. Real estate homes, 3 BHK, 2 BHK, 3.5 BHK, 4.5 BHK, duplex house, people and power. I have shown you now. Tours and travels. You want to sell one, you show other one. You want to buy something, when you go to a market, when you want to bargain, you want to buy item A, don't go and position item A as your point. You try to show that you want to buy item B if you really want to buy item A. So this is the knack that you can use in negotiations. So these are all some of the things, and which is basis of the game theory. So decision making, rationality versus irrationality. We may be thinking that we are rational, but we are irrational, and it is predictable. And the decisions, the hidden forces that shapes our decisions. So this is the point I want you to observe, that this is the basis for your business model, my dear friends. I call it as a business model innovation. Now I will go back and show you now how important here is that, is your product changed? No. Your process changed? No. Your service delivery changed? No. Your service design, I would only call winning options. Options, number of three options versus 2 options. I offered you 2 versus 3, multiple choice questions. 4 options versus 3 options versus 2 options. Which one you think is more easy for candidate to answer? Is as simple as that. Multiple choice question paper, people think very easy. Multiple choice question paper is the most deceiving one. So like that, you have 3 options versus 2 options. So this is where e-commerce companies are struggling today. You just browse any book for any, even the same book you want to buy, you have different rates and different delivery times. Same book, you want to buy the same book, predictable irrational book, on Amazon, Flipkart, and some other. You just go and check. I've made my students to identify what are the products which are having the same price on both the sides, which are the products which are having low price in one product, one platform, and high price on the other platform. This is what is happening in e-commerce today. So healthcare is also became e-commerce platform. So when you talk about e-commerce platform for healthcare, you need such kind of winning options. Design of winning options and putting that into use is the crux of the model. That's what I call it as business model innovation. Is this clear, my dear friends? That's all I have. So you have a lot of changes that are happening in the healthcare, and the future of healthcare is going to change. And in these areas, you could concentrate how you can at some potential areas. And since you're all from healthcare, I hope you all understand. And health is becoming more and more electronically consumed, or electronic services. Both cyber and physical services are coming up in big way in healthcare particularly. Healthcare is not a simple product like any other product. Healthcare is both physical and non-physical. So that is where cyber physical models are coming up in a big way. So you have no choice but to continuously upgrade yourself. It is not about the technology, it's not about the doctors, it's not about the patients, it's not about your infrastructure alone. The system that connects all these and the service delivery is going to be the winner. The future winner will be not the technology alone. People, process, technology, and combined all these things, coming out with a business model and moving with the times on continuous basis is the future. So that's all I want to say. And world is becoming volatile, uncertain, complex, and adaptive and ambiguous. So the models have to be evolved on continuous basis. Business model cannot be a stagnated one. So my prescription is a PPT rather. People, process, and technology has to be aligned continuously and update them. So one last example is, learn from Koi Fish. Koi Fish is a wonderful example. learn from nature, butterfly and koi fish, etc., etc. So koi fish will grow in a small bowl, it will go small. In a big pond, it will go bigger. So that is what is the speciality of koi fish. So your organizations, your business models have to be adaptive to the nature. So I'll stop here with this slide, and the last slide is my most favorite slide. And these are some of the conclusions I could draw based on whatever that we could see. And this is my WhatsApp message information. So don't be a old crow, be a modern crow. And what is required is either it is a business model for organization or a skill for an individual, or your own model has to be evolved with time. So let me also put in place why I shared my journey at the beginning, that what I learned from my training is that you're dealing with MBA students, particularly any student for that matter. They look for what is happening new in the industry. So that is one niche area that I found for myself as healthcare management in IIM. You can go back and check in the entire country, is there any IIM offering healthcare course? There is nobody. Healthcare is on a very, very high demand. A lot of people are coming into healthcare. So healthcare is going to be flooded. It's going to be a war field. And unless you come out with good innovations and continuously changing those innovations, survival becomes very, very difficult, either for individuals or for organizations. That's all from my side, my dear friends. I'll stop here and I'll invite for a few questions for next 5-10 minutes, and then we will close it. Sir, back to you.
Thank you,
sir. There are some
Professor Venkat.
There are some content. One minute, sir. There was some content which was repetition for you. Sorry for that.
No. Most engaging. But I would request all the participants, if they have any questions, to kindly take this opportunity to interact with Professor Venkat, and our senior members of AHA, if they have any comments or observations or some question to ask Professor Venkat.
Sir, there are some SDM hospital people also, and there are a few people who are asking for the presentation. I have no problem. I will share this presentation with Dr. Saab, and in turn they can share it with all of you, and let them put it on the AHA website and share it with all of you. Not a problem, but do not misuse. Use it. Do not misuse.
Yeah. We'll do the needful as you.
No problem. No. See, my aim is now that this all should open innovation. If you are not allowing the resource material, learning material open for others for learning, there is no meaning. And I give everything almost upfront. So this is also available for you. Please use it in the best possible way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let me also share with the members, because they're all close group members. With your permission, sir, it's not a commercial information, but just academic information. We are coming out with a beautiful program for working the healthcare professionals. In collaboration with Apollo MedSkills and IIM Lucknow, 9 months certificate program or executive program in health management, EPHM, which will be very soon. Will be announcing the advertisement, releasing the advertisement. Batch will start somewhere in the middle of January or early January, and we look forward for many of you to join us. And the program fee is also very, very competitive. Very, very competitive in the industry. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
We will circulate that information through AHA also.
Sure, sir. Sure. That will be your great help to us.
Yeah, in fact, I was thinking of mentioning this in the end, but you have
yes, sir,
mentioned this. So that's very good. Very engaging program. And anybody else who would like to, sort of interact with Professor Venkat before I, give my word of thanks to him?
You can also connect to me in LinkedIn. I'm also not that active, but I'm also on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Professor Venkat actually did a comprehensive presentation.
Yes.
On different actually working models of hospital. And in fact, actually, I happened to join actually in the mid when we were discussing about Aravind actually at the time when we joined.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had an opportunity to work with Dr. Venkataswamy.
Very good. Great.
And their working model and success, the reason for their success is he always insists on there is always a better way of doing things.
Correct.
Anything, whatever you take,
Yeah.
do. Whether right from sweeping to actually manufacturing of intraocular lens or exporting or whatever it is. A constant and continuous improvement actually that we could able to observe there. And that is one thing. And it is the same model which has been emulated by Dr. Devi Shetty at Narayana Hridayalaya. And the reason for their cost, or actually what you were saying in Tirupati, that they were doing it very least prices, actually it is cost containment.
Yes.
Because anyone can be able to do that, and if they are having a thorough study on cost. And with that, actually they have a basic pricing, and from that, whatever is their reasonable price, anyone will automatically.
Pricing is the key. Pricing is the key,
The
and we
pricing.
walk towards that price.
Yeah, pricing is
It's like a Tata Nano car. Tata boss said
Exactly.
1 lakh car, and I have to get a 1 lakh car. That's all.
yeah.
So Dr.
And-
Rangaswamy said free. Now, how do I do it free?
Yeah, if they don't do it. In fact, in Aravind, they don't do anything actually at free. Even at if you go to a free hospital, their registration for that, at least if they're giving a small slip also, they'll charge at least 50 paisa or 1 rupee. So that the reason for that is actually that things should not be wasted.
Yes.
And
They will,
that-
to my knowledge, Arvind charges only for 2 things. One is for that post cataract surgery lens, the spectacles, protective specs, and registration slip for 20 rupees.
So that is at a very reasonable rate. Actually, they do that. Yeah, what you are saying is right.
That too,
And-
I asked him, why are you charging? If you charge, they will bring it back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the people will come and say
Yeah,
that I don't have
exactly.
registration slip.
That is one thing. And as far as actually innovation is concerned, in fact, actually you covered a lot of things.
Yes.
But a few things could be added with that, especially in today's Indian market, ID,
Yes.
that everyone would be knowing. Actually, they innovate things actually.
This is what I say. You see, nothing is permanent.
Yeah, nothing is permanent.
Nothing is permanent. That is the point people have to understand. And a lot of companies who are lost, like, this is what is called Kodak era.
Yeah.
Kodak has kept silent, and then Kodak has lost its relevance. And Nokia
Exactly.
is also that. There are a lot of such examples. Yes, thank you.
And
Yeah.
nothing stops here, and it is
Sure.
always actually the brainstorming and exchange of ideas will help actually each one of us to actually
Sure.
emulate further. And excellent presentation, Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I
Thank
would
you.
like to hear from other people if there is any.
Yeah, Dr. Patnaik, Saroj, anything you would like to say?
Professor Venkat, can I speak?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Amit. Saroj, just hold on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amit,
Amitji.
anything you want to say?
Yeah, Professor Venkat, thank you for such a wonderful presentation.
It's all,
And
I must thank my teachers and my mentors. That's all is the
in
reason.
fact, I have read about your innovations and various articles, and the good news is that I have been managing various hospitals on a very different O&M and PPP model.
Yeah.
And recently, after lockdown, I have started OYO for hospitals.
Okay.
So I take over hospitals for O&M,
Hmm.
and then I provide them consultants do doctor management, operations, and marketing,
Excellent.
completely on an IT-based software, smart hospital.
Hmm.
So we manage somewhere around 3 hospitals in Bombay, now taking over 11 hospitals in MP.
Very good.
So this is the trying innovation there.
Excellent.
Thank you, Amit. Saroj, please come in. Anything you'd like to say?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. It was an excellent presentation, undoubtedly, sir. And this is the need of the hour. But where I would like to chip in is healthcare, unlike other industries, is not a matter of choice.
Yes.
It's not a choice selection.
Yes.
For most of us, rather for the rural India.
You're on mute. You got into mute.
Yeah, Saroj, you have lost. Dr. Hina, please mute yourself. Yeah.
Saroji, you can unmute, please. You're on mute, Saroji. I think some network issue. Yeah.
Oh no, he's come back. Yeah. Yeah, Saroj.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm sorry, the weather is bad here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. So what I was requesting is if the innovation and the kind of work that Institutes of Excellence they are doing here, sir, if somehow, these things can be transferred to the rural healthcare setup of our country, along with collaboration with various government agencies, maybe that is going to do, bigger good to a greater number, sir. That is my only submission, sir.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, because everybody in every meeting, everywhere in India, rural is very disconnected and etc. And I come from rural. Let me tell you, if there is anything is normal, I go to the nearest one. If there is anything serious, I will prefer a major town or city. Nobody in rural, even if you go to rural to provide a high-end service, there is no demand for high-end service. What is required in rural is basic services is required, very much required. And you get them to the place where you can deliver the service and you provide them at a low cost, like Arvind. Can Arvind, even you look at this Arvind model also very carefully. Arvind identifies the patients who need the surgery and they take their patients to the hospital and they do the surgery in the hospital. That is the kind of model, customization which is required. If a patient is having a cardiac problem in a village, you think you can do a cardiac surgery or cardiac treatment in a village? Even if you do, he is not ready. Please let me tell you, it is not a phone where you go and sell in a rural place. Phone you can sell in going to the doorstep of the person and sell it. Healthcare service you cannot sell it. All healthcare services cannot be sold in the rural at the doorstep. Forget about rural. Even in the city, during COVID time, you could see very carefully. Those who stayed in isolation are the ones who are capable of managing their things, etc. And even people who are stable, what they did was, if I fall sick further, I may fall shortage of beds. Let me go advance. People went in advance and occupied the beds. This has precisely happened in wave 2. In wave 2 time, occupying the beds by the less vulnerable patients and high sick patients were at a high risk. Who will control this? You tell me.
Absolutely, sir. Agreed with what you said about COVID. I am also with you on
people in every meeting, also including private and public, people say that rural there is no doctor. You go to rural, as a doctor, I can take a very excellent doctor along with me to my village. Nobody will come to you to get treated except for fever and headache and body pains, etc. And if you give some free medicine, they will take and they will throw it. They won't even take that.
That is exactly what
I interact with my doctor friends at a village also. I have my close friend who is running his own NGO also. He goes one day in a week, they are happy. One day in a week, they are happy. And they're all coming to his city clinic to that place. Trust. If you ask one thing that drives healthcare in India or anywhere in the world is the trust between partners, and this is the fundamental aspect of supply chain. Trust among customers reduces transaction cost. Simple. If you ask me one word answer to all these innovations, build anything that helps you to build trust between you and your patient, or you and your other collaborators. Trust makes transaction enabled.
Very true.
Right.
That's my one word answer.
That's very true. Dr. Hina, would you like to ask something? Thank you, Saroj. Dr. Hina?
Thank you.
She had raised her hand. Yeah. Dr. Rashmi? Okay, Dr. Amar, would you like to say something?
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Nazim Malik. I'm the chief dietitian. So in my previous work as a dietitian, I worked for a public health company and for a telemedicine hub and spoke model. So being a dietitian, my question is, in rural sector, it's very difficult, the diet given to the patient and they following. it's not viable or provisional for them to get whatever prescriptions we give. So how that can be tackled, sir? What is your point of view on that?
Okay. So I think it's a very tough question, as well as answer also not easy. Even if I tell you easy answer, implementation is not a joke. I'll share with my own mother's example. I come from village.
Yes,
So I think I can represent village, the bottommost part of the country versus highest part of the country. I can give decent examples. So more than providing your diet, or etc., it's a social factor which is making the patients stopping from consuming real healthcare services. For example, my mother is, we are 3 brothers. My mother, we don't have sisters in the family. So, the mothers, in this country, the mothers with no daughters are the most sufferers. I'm sorry to say that in this platform, because of obvious reasons. They don't want to leave their ego that easily at this age of 60 plus or 70 plus. I'm talking about a particular segment, aged patients. And what they lack is the right diet, not even medicine, right diet. If we want to provide right diet to them, it is very difficult, because they think that I am ignoring my family members, they are not taking care of me, and hence I am taking the external service. They feel ashamed to take these services. I'm telling you, this is the fact. And I asked my mother, this is a researched one sample question, one sample answer. It took 20 years for me to convince my mother to go to Arvind to get cataract surgery done. Ultimately, she got it done. She accepted and got it done. I have used my son to influence her. Has to make a grandmother to convince and come together, and grandson and grandmother's surgery has done on the same day in the Arvind Eye Hospital, Madurai. She says, I feel ashamed to go to hospital. Social factors, I call it as social factors. So technical, socio and economic determinants of healthcare. So please focus on these dimensions. Socio, technical and economic determinants of healthcare.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
I hope that answers your question, Dr. Amar.
And Hina is writing a question, how to do better innovations at urban health centers. I'll give one more example. Urban centers is no way different from rural centers. Urban centers are much more difficult. Urban centers are having a problem of time constraint. Affordability. If people talk about affordability in cost, no. Cost may not be affordable, the barrier. And time, availability of time. For example, in Mumbai, Dharavi, people, unless they go for work, they can't survive, number one. And another thing is, even if you want to survive without going, but your company who is using your services cannot allow you even half a day leave. You are indispensable. Your services are indispensable. For example, auto drivers, car drivers, truck drivers, and other industry workforce. They are not able to go and take the service because they do not have time. Like the officers do not have time, blue collars do not have time, white collars do not have time, no collar has time.
That's very true.
So what these people have done, Dr. Natarajan from the Aditya Jyot Eye Hospital, 3rd generation eye specialist, he has used the Dharavi, some of the party offices to connect to them in the evenings. His consultations are as late as 10 p.m. Is doctors interested? How many doctors are interested? Is the paramedics are interested? They can manage their time. This guy is doing as a separate foundation. Aditya Jyot Eye Hospital. Please visit Aditya Jyot Eye Hospital website. You will find a lot of innovations that he is doing in line with or somewhat similar to Arvind Eye Hospital. Arvind is focusing on both urban and semi-urban and rural. And this guy is predominantly into urban poor. Urban poor is different from rural poor. Or urban, I won't call it as poor. Urban population challenges are different from rural population challenges. I'll give you one small example, Inaji. Indian Postal Service registered post has to be handed over to the individual. Mumbai office started with this, delivering registered post letters post evening time. because that is the time where they come back home. The delivery time of Indian Postal registered letters have shifted their time from 6 p.m. onwards. So like that, you have to shift your schedules.
Very true. I hope that has answered your question or your doubt, Dr. Hina. Yeah. Anyone else who would like to interact? I think we have been impinging on Professor Venkat's time most
I don't have any
liberally.
other schedule now.
Most liberally. I think I will, possibly end here, Professor Venkat.
Sure, sir.
Because thank you so much for giving so much of your time and in such a relaxed manner. It has been a most enlightening talk, I would say. Not only enlightening, I would say most entertaining, with a lot of examples and a lot of wisdom that you have shared with us. You have given us a great insight to all your experience in the healthcare, and it has improved, I would say, on behalf of all of us who have participated in this webinar, of understanding our own working of our own profession, of the way we, deliver healthcare. And I'm sure, be it the entrants, be it the middle level, be it the senior or the top level hospital administrators and hospital managers, at all levels, you will find your, talk very, very useful. And yes, one thing which comes out very, loud and clear in delivering innovations in your talk is that it has to be sort of based on developing that trust factor between the healthcare deliverer and the healthcare recipient. That is very, very important. He has to develop that confidence in that innovation that you are doing, that yes, it will work for him or her. That's very, very important. And I think that's a great underlying message and a take-home message for all of us to be working. So thank you very much, Professor Venkat, once again, for having accepted our invitation to speak at such a short notice, I would say. And in spite of your busy schedule of classes, which I am, sure I'm, you've had to, I think, rearrange or reschedule, just because to sort of, accede to our request. Thank you so much. We are really grateful from AHA side. And I think this is not the end. And we would be looking more towards you to give us your wisdom and your experience. Share your, thoughts with us in the future also, for the benefit of us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for all of you. And it's a very unique experience for me to interact with so many doctors and medical professionals and other healthcare professionals. I must thank AHA, from bottom of my heart, and a special thanks to you and Dr. VK sir. So without people like you, I could not have reached here. And I could say, along with your two words, trust and the continuous culture, I would say the collaboration with the people like you is the real motivator and the very important dimension of anything that we do. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
We are honored and we are enlightened. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.